He put his cap down on the table and said, "You know, Shankar, it is really quite strange. The first time I came here, I used to sit cross legged on these chairs. It seemed as though I was sitting on the throne. Now the chairs here used to seem both small in size and very ordinary. The drawing room here used to seem absolutely enormous. If I hadn't returned, those memories would have remained stuck in my mind forever." So Jayanto, after putting his cap down on the table, told Shankar that it's really quite strange. When I was a small child, I used to sit on these same chairs with cross-legged, and I used to feel that I was sitting on a throne. But now those same chairs now seem to me as very small in size and very ordinary. When I was a child, I used to feel very lavish when I used to sit on these chairs, but today when I am sitting on these chairs, I am finding them very ordinary. The drawing room also seemed absolutely enormous. When I was a child, I used to feel that the drawing room here was quite enormous. If I hadn't returned, all these memories would have been in my mind. They would have never revived back. But as now I am visiting this place again after 31 years, so all the memories are flashing across my mind. I said, "Yes, that's perfectly natural. As a child, one is small in size, so everything else seems large. One grows bigger with age, but the So, Shankar reply him that yes, it's natural. When we are a child, everything, as we are small in size, so everything else seems large to us. But when we grow bigger with age, although the size of the other thing remains same, but still we feel that they are not same. They are now smaller in size, which we used to consider as bigger in size when we are small in size. We went for a stroll in the garden after tea. Jayanto suddenly stopped walking and said, "Deodar." Then we went for a walk. They both went for a walk in the garden after having tea. And when they were walking, Jayanto suddenly stopped walking and he uttered a word, "Deodar." I stared at him. Shankar started looking at Jayanto. "A deodar tree, it ought to be here somewhere," he said, and began sitting towards the far end of the compound. Why did he suddenly think of a deodar tree? All of a sudden, he started thinking of a deodar tree, and he tells Shankar that I still remember that it has to be somewhere here only in the garden, and he started searching for that tree. And Shankar got confused as to why, in the middle of walking, he suddenly remembered the tree. Why? A few seconds later, I heard his voice exclaiming jubilantly, "Yes, it's here, exactly where it was before." So, after few seconds, Jayanto was very happy as he found the tree, and he tells Shankar that yes, finally I've got it. It's on the same place where it was when I was 6 years old. "Of course, it's where it was before," I said. "Would a tree go roaming about?" So he says ki obviously it's a natural fact that where the tree was planted, at the same place it would be there, as tree can't roam about. So he was feeling strange as to why Jayanto is feeling so happy on getting that tree and the same place. Jayanto shook his head impatiently. "No, that is not what I meant. All I was that the tree is where I thought it might be." So Jayanto tells that I don't mean to say that the tree roams. Rather, I was very sure that the tree must be on the same place where I thought it to be. "But why did you suddenly think of a tree?" Then he asked him that why all of a sudden you remembered about this tree. Jayanto stared at the trunk of the tree, frowning. Then he shook his head slowly and said, "I can't remember that now. Something had brought me near the tree. I had done something here, a European." Then he says that I exactly don't remember why I uttered the name of this tree, but there is a close connection between us. Some activity has been done by me which I am not able to remember or recall right now. European? No, I can't recall anything at all. Memory is a strange business. So when he tells that suddenly after remembering the other tree, he also tells one more word, European. So Shankar asked him, European, what's that? So he again tells that I'm not able to recall anything at this moment, as memory is a very strange thing. When one tries to remember, he is not able to get that thing in the mind. They had a good cook in the circuit house. Later in the evening, while we sat at the table having dinner, Jayanto said the cook they had in those days was called Dilavar. He had a scar on his left cheek and his eyes were always red. But he was an extraordinary cook. So they had a good cook in the circuit house, and when they were having the dinner, Jayanto recalled and said that those time also we had a cook whose name was Dilavar, and he was having a left mark on his left cheek and his eyes were always red. But in spite of that, he was an extraordinary cook. He used to cook a very delicious food. Jayanto's memories began returning one by one. Soon after dinner, when we went back to the drawing room, he could recall where his father used to sit and smoke a cheroot, whereas his mother used to knit, and what magazines lay on the table. So now, slowly and slowly, all the memories were flashing across his mind, and he remembered exactly where his father used to sit, where his mother used to knit the sweaters, and different memories flashed across his mind. He was able to recall all the memories of his childhood when he was in this place when he was 6 years old. And slowly, in bits and pieces, he recalled the whole business about his doll, and in the same way he also remembered everything about his doll. It was not the usual kind of doll little girls play with. One of Jayanto's uncle had brought for him from Switzerland a 12-inch long figure of an old man dressed in traditional Swiss style. Apparently, it was very lifelike. Although it was not mechanized, it was possible to bend and twist it slim. So he tells us about the doll, that it was not the ordinary doll which girls used to play with. Rather, it was his uncle who brought the doll from him from Switzerland, and it was a 12-inch long figure of an old man. He was dressed in traditional Swiss style, as it was of Switzerland, so the dress was called as Swiss style dress. And the doll was very lifelike. It seems that the doll was having all the emotions, and it was very full of life. Although it was not mechanized, but still one can easily bend and twist its limbs. Its face had a smile on it, and on its head it wore a Swiss cap with a little yellow feather sticking out from it. And there was a very pretty smile on its face, and on its head there was a Swiss cap from which a yellow colored feather was sticking out. Sticking out means from that cap a yellow feather was coming out. The clothes were very perfectly, the doll was perfectly dressed. It had a very perfect belt. There were buttons, pockets, collar. It was wearing socks. Even on the shoes there were little buckles. So these are the details about the doll which you can use while answering your questions. His uncle had returned from Europe shortly before Jayanto left for Bundi with his parents. The little old man had been bought in a village in Switzerland. Though when his uncle returned from Europe, he gave this doll to Jayanto, and Jayanto carried this doll to Bundi. The man who sold him had jokingly said to Jayanto's uncle, "He's called Fritz. You must call him by this name. He won't respond to any other." The man who sold this doll to Jayanto's uncle jokingly told him that you should remember that you should always call him by the name Fritz, else the doll won't respond. He was just joking. Jayanto said, "I had a lot of toys when I was small. My parents gave me practically everything I wanted, perhaps because I was their only child. But once I had Fritz, I forgot all my other toys. I played with him. A time came when I began to spend hours just talking to him. Our conversation had to be one sided, of course, but Fritz had such a funny smile on his lips and such a look in his eyes that it seemed to me as though he could understand every word. Sometimes I wondered if he would actually converse with me, if I could speak to him in German. Now it seems like a childish fantasy, but at that time the whole thing was very real to me. So he tells that when he was small, he was having lot of toys, but he started having a strange affinity with the doll, due to which he started spending long hours with the doll. As he was the only child of their parent, their parent used to give him everything he demanded. So that was the reason he had so many toys, but still the only toy he played him with was Fritz. He used to have long conversation with him, which was basically one sided, but Jento always had a feeling that But Jayanto always had the feeling that if I would talk to this doll in German, he would actually reply to me, as there was a very lovely smile on its face. It seemed that as if Fritz was understanding each and every word uttered by Jayanto. At that time, it was a childish fantasy, which which seems to be a joke to him now. But when he was a small child, this Fritz was his entire world, and it was real part of his life. Fritz was a very important part of his life when he was a small child. My parents did warn me not to overdo things, but I listened to no one. I had not yet been put in a school, so I had all the time in the world for Fritz. At that time, his parents also got worried and always told Jayanto that he should not spend so much time with the doll, but he never paid any attention to their words. As he was not put in a school, as they were new to this place, he was not admitted to school, so he had all the time for Fritz only. Jento felt silent. I looked at my watch and realized it was 9:30 p.m. It was very quiet outside. We were sitting in the drawing room of the circuit house. An old lamp burnt in the room. Jento, after telling this, became silent, and Shankar looked at his watch and noticed that it was 9:30 p.m. and they were supposed to sleep, as there was complete silence outside the campus. I asked what happened to the doll. Then he asked him that then what happened to the doll. Jayanto was still deep in thought. His answer to my question came so late that by the time I had started to think that he had not heard me at all. Jayanto was already lost in his thoughts, and by the time he answered, Shankar thought that he has not heard his question. And by the time he replied, Shankar already thought that he has not heard his question. I had brought it to Bundi, it was destroyed here. So he tells him that when my uncle gave it to me, I brought it along with me to Bundi and it was completely destroyed. Destroyed? How? Shankar asked him how it was destroyed. Jayanto sighed. He was again silent.